Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
To them, I was still quiet Melissa, the cousin who worked at some hotel, the one without an Ivy League degree or a designer wardrobe worth bragging about. At 34, I learned to blend in with the crowd and disappear until I was noticed. The Gardner family reunion was scheduled for July, and this year's location was Golden Beaches Resort, my masterpiece. But no one knew that. Not Declan, my cousin turned corporate snob. Not Aunt Eloise, whose praise only extended as far as your tax bracket. And certainly not Olivia, who still called me Mel the maid when she thought I couldn't hear. A week before check-in, the family group chat lit up. Declan. Rooms are booked. Melissa, we got you the heron room. Cozy little spot. Basement level. Molds probably free of charge. I stared at the message, heart steady. I had personally approved at 35% family discount. I also knew the heron room was the lowest rated space in the entire resort. Next to the service elevator and beneath the laundry chute. Perfect. When I arrived early, I slipped in through the staff entrance and nodded at Marcus, my general manager. Still want to go through with this? He asked, glancing at the room key labeled B01. Absolutely, I said. Let's see how they treat me when I'm just Melissa. Later that evening, as I dragged my suitcase through the lobby like any other guest, I spotted Declan at the concierge desk. Thought you'd missed the check-in window, he said with a smirk. Guess it's hard when you're not used to places like this. I smiled. Oh, I'm very familiar with this place. He didn't catch the weight behind my words. Not yet. Dinner was held on the west terrace beneath hanging lanterns and soft jazz. The tables shimmered with crystal and polished silverware, but there was no place card for me. Melissa, Olivia said with a brittle smile, we weren't sure you were coming. There's a seat at the far end near the staff station. Of course there was. I took my seat beside a tray cart and a swaying patio heater. From here, I had a perfect view of my family performing their rituals of status. Declan held court, talking about foreign mergers like he'd invented capitalism. Aunt Eloise complimented every diamond that caught the candlelight. No one made eye contact with me. Midway through the main course, Declan leaned back and clinked his glass. Melissa, he called out, loud enough to hush conversation. You still folding towels somewhere tropical. A few polite chuckles. My steak knife paused mid-cut. I manage hotel properties, I said calmly. Olivia chimed in with a tight laugh. Oh right. We saw you that one Christmas in a housekeeping uniform. So dedicated. I was shadowing staff during an audit, I replied. Standard for regional directors. Declan raised an eyebrow. Directing towels now? I smiled faintly. Something like that. Dessert was served with a side of smug. Then came the final cut. We're doing a private wine tasting tomorrow, Olivia said. Just close family. It's $340 per person. She didn't have to say it. They had no intention of inviting me. I sipped my water and nodded. Sounds lovely. But inside, something shifted. Let them toast to themselves tomorrow, because the day after I would burn the whole illusion down. The wine tasting went on without me. I saw the photos later. Declan swirling his glass like a sommelier, Olivia posing beside imported bottles she couldn't pronounce. No one even noticed I wasn't there. That was the moment I decided, no more pretending. I dialed the front desk from the damp basement room. This is Melissa Gardner, I said. Transfer me to the presidential penthouse, prepare the full luxury package, and call my family up for a private meeting with the owner. A pause. Then, yes, Miss Gardner, right away. I pulled out the emerald green suit I wore only for investor summits. The one that made men in $5,000 watches lean forward when I entered a boardroom. As I fastened my necklace, my mother's, the one she wore to every graduation, I caught my reflection. No more invisible. No more silent. The penthouse was ready within the hour, champagne chilled, orchids arranged. I stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows as the doorbell chimed. Declan walked in first, looking around with confusion. What the hell is this? Moments later, Olivia stepped inside, frowning. Melissa, what are you doing in the honors? I turned slowly. I am the owner. Silence fell like glass shattering. My name is Melissa Gardner, I said clearly. I own Golden Beaches Resort, and you're standing in my penthouse. Olivia's mouth opened, but no sound came. The mask had fallen. Now they'd see everything they chose to overlook. Declan laughed first. A short, stunned bark of disbelief. You own this? His voice cracked like glass. I nodded calm. Every tile, every palm tree, every ocean view suite. I've built 7 resorts in 10 years. This one, it's my crown jewel. Aunt Alois swayed slightly. Olivia clutched her phone, eyes scanning the room like it was suddenly foreign. Marcus stepped forward with a silver tray of envelopes. Per your instructions, Ms. Gardner, final invoices for all Gardner guests. Declan stepped back. Invoices? Yes, I said. The 35% discount was revoked. You treated me like a joke, like I didn't belong here. You'll pay what other guests pay for our 5-star service. Olivia tore open her envelope and gasped. This is over $5,700. For 5 nights in our finest rooms, spa packages, and yes, that $340 wine tasting I was excluded from, I said evenly. That's theft, Declan snapped. No, I said, stepping forward. What's theft is assuming someone's worth based on status. What's disgraceful is humiliating your own family. I gave you the chance to treat me like a person. You failed. My father, silent until now, finally stepped in beside me. She's right. I turned to him startled. He nodded proudly. Your mother would have cried seeing this. I swallowed hard. For the first time, I felt seen. And for the first time, they had to watch me from beneath. The next morning, the air in the breakfast lounge was brittle. Gone were the smug toasts, only quiet sips of coffee and eyes that avoided mine. Some relatives left early, driving luggage in silence. Olivia didn't speak, but left a note on my suite door. Power doesn't equal grace. Remember that. I stepped onto the penthouse balcony. The sun rose over the ocean, gold spilling across the waves. My father sat with coffee in hand. I remember when you were 8, he said, sketching hotels in your notebooks. I smiled. Everyone thought it was a phase. He looked at me, eyes full. Your mother never did. She'd be so proud. I leaned into him, letting the quiet wrap around us. Far below, Declan and Alois waited for the valet. From here, they looked small. Maybe they always were. I didn't want to humiliate them, I said, just to be seen. And now you are, he replied. Now you decide what comes next. The suite door chimed, Marcus. Miss Gardner, he said, the investors are waiting for you. I glanced at the sea once more, then turned inside. I was no longer invisible. I was the one they'd never forget.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.